So, so hello all. Prajakta, I think you can start.
Okay, Rajesh. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Prajakta Kotasthane, and today's first session of online with the topic Industry Policy, Opportunities and Challenges in the Current Scenario. Before I proceed, I just want to make sure I'm audible. Rajesh, Rishu, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So today's topic is industry policy, opportunities and challenges in the current scenario. This topic is of specific interest to me as I'm a second generation entrepreneur. Our business is engaged in manufacturing and exporting elastomer based products for various sectors. So I'm sure there will be important information for industry like ours in today's session. Now, I'm also pleased to introduce Mr. Rajesh Vazarkar. He's the chairman of IICC Pune chapter. Rajesh is the managing director of Hyster Yale, which has its head office in the US. Rajesh has several years of work experience in companies like Hyster Yale and Cummins. On behalf of IICC Pune, I'm pleased to welcome our main speaker for today, Honorable Mr. Sadashiv Survase. He is the Joint Director of Industries Pune under Government of Maharashtra. Mr. Survase comes with a vast industry experience in the private sector and
Prajakta,
many
I think you are
challenges
Prajakta, you are breaking in.
and issues that we are facing today. Sir, a warm welcome. Yes, is it clear now?
Yes, it is clear. Clear.
Rajesh, is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Mr. Survase, a warm welcome to you. We are very thankful to you for taking out the time to speak with us today. We have more than 120 participants for today's webinar, and we are all looking forward to important inputs from you. Given the current COVID-19 situation and its impact on the industry, Mr. Survase will speak about various industry policies and the way forward. This will be applicable across sectors, be it automotive, engineering, IT, logistics, and the food industry. He will also take a few questions from us post his address. And considering that some companies have already reopened or will restart operations shortly, we do need the relevant information and guidelines from the government so that our queries are addressed. With this, I welcome you all once again and hand over to Rajesh Vazarkar. Thank you, and over to you, Rajesh.
Okay. Thank you, Prajakta. Mr. Surose, are you able to hear us? Okay.
Yeah. I'm okay. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Thank you. Um, thank you, Prajakta, and thanks for all who have joined us. I think I will try to share a brief slide. Those who attended IICC Pune Annual Fellowship Night in February may recollect this slide. I know that there are quite a few people who are from outside Pune as well, so they may not have seen this slide, but I think I will try to explain what we are trying to do here. Uh, at that time, we had mentioned about initiative called SmartCon 2020, which was Smart and Connected Manufacturing Conclave event. This was supposed to be one-day conclave. Given the rapid turn of events with COVID-19, we have now reconfigured this as an online event which shall be conducted as series of webinars over next few months. As name suggests, it would be about smart and connected manufacturing. Now, face of manufacturing is changing and is changing very fast. There is a pressure on manufacturing from all sides, and with COVID-19 and lockdowns, business sustainability is a big challenge. Now, government wants to attract foreign investments. Technology drivers are changing very fast with Industry 4.0. Going digital has become a mantra. The policy and regulations are changing very dynamically. With COVID-19 crisis, geopolitical equations are also changing very fast. IICC is trying to convert this crisis as an opportunity and working with various US officials, companies, to see how can we work together in these challenging times. We have tie up with Invest India, working with Indian government to make recommendations based on our members' input. So today is the first session of this online conclave. Subsequent to this, we plan to engage with consultants, US expert organizations like Automation Alley from Michigan, local companies working with the SMEs, technology companies to bring you engaging and informative webinars. Now, for this first session, timing would not have been any better to engage with government officials to understand the change policy scenario um, and challenges we are facing. And now I would like to hand over to Mr. Surose, Joint Director Industries, Government of Maharashtra. We are eager to understand from Mr. Surose about current scenario, industry policy, and what are government plans considering the current scenario. So hand over to Mr. Surose, please.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Prajakta, and thank you, everybody. I welcome all of you in this webinar. First of all, I thank all of you for calling me to have my some views about the government policies and basically the opportunities in current situation. As Rajesh mentioned that I will be just talking to initially about 10 to 15 minutes with three important basically topics. That is basically the current situation of industries and orders from the central government as well as the state government. That was one issue because most of the questions will be on that particular issues. Another is that what are the basically support system or various scheme implemented by the state government as well as some of the scheme implemented by the government of India. And finally, I will just highlight about basically what are the opportunities after this lockdown or lockdown due to COVID-19. Now,
Okay,
as far as, yeah, so as far as now, you all are aware about that this lockdown we have started almost in 23rd March, and then the government is coming with various basically notifications and try to basically with facing the challenges of spreading of COVID-19. Basically, the industries department and the government of Maharashtra, we are trying to restart the industrial operations to again have some movement in the economy. So I will just mention that on the 2nd May onwards, we basically try to come up with some industrial activities. On 17th April guidelines, we have basically initialized the various activities in green zones as per the classification, the green districts. And first of all, we have started the various industrial operations or the industries located in rural areas, and that too again in the green basically districts. Now, as far as the Pune and Mumbai that is concerned, it is basically a main hub of the industrialization in the Maharashtra. And apart from that, the Mumbai metropolitan region, Pune metropolitan region, then the Nashik and basically the Aurangabad, Nagpur, these are the major industrial hub of the Maharashtra. And as you are aware about that, the Maharashtra is a growth engine for the India in industrialization. So on 2nd May, we have the government has decided to start the basically industrial estates like special economic zone, then the industrial estates or the industrial township having special basically access over to controls in PMR areas, excluding Pune Municipal Corporation and Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation. And again, then they have allowed basically the manufacturing units like in essential commodities, including drug, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, their raw materials, intermediate production units, and the industries require the continuous basically production. So this is basically 2nd May guidelines, and we have almost given permissions to almost about 16,000 industries in Pune districts. These are located in PMR area. So PMR area, where we call it is Talegaon, then the Chakan MIDC, we have Ranjangaon, almost some private area in Sanaswadi, Shikrapur. Then we have Pirangut, and across on some of the areas on Solapur highway also, as well as on Satara road also. After that, on 14th basically May, we have started industrial operations in Pimpri Chinchwad, and you know that major OEM like Tata Motors, then we have Thermax, Garware Technical Fibers, then the Padamji paper mills, and apart from that, we have almost about 11 to 12,000 MSMEs. They are located in Bhosri, Pimpri Chinchwad, nearby areas. So that industry is also started. But with these industries, there are some restrictions and there are some basically against controls, because as you know that the Pune districts are most of the districts in Maharashtra, these are in a red zone. As the Pune district is classified in a red zone, we have a restrictions, and we have the first restriction is that there should not be any movement from containment zone to the non-containment zone. And you know that in Pune Municipal Corporation as well as in PCMC, most of the containment zones are there. So that part is restricted. Again, the employee or staff movement is restricted through basically dedicated transport by minibus or bus or cars. And almost in some cases, the employee transfers are allowed by two-wheeler or bicycle from village to village or nearby factory areas. Again, this employee movement is restricted from 7 p.m. onwards to 7 a.m. early in the morning, because again, the section 144 is applicable in that area also, in that period also. And we are trying to basically restart and have a momentum in the industries, so that the major industries, the OEM, machinery manufacturers and their vendors, then the whatever the like we can say that the units coming of micro, small and medium coming in the supply chains that has been that try to start their operations. So as of now, almost about we can say that 16,000 plus almost 3,500, so almost 20,000 units are operational in Pune districts. And if you take the whole Maharashtra, more than 50,000 units are in operations. Of course, we have started slowly and phase-wise the industrial operations, but there are so many issues because the supply chain is not completely started. Most of the industries in Mumbai metropolitan region, that is basically located in Thane, Palghar, Vasai, Raigad, they were not started. And related to the service industries located in Mumbai, that is also not started. Another issue is that about that there is issues about the labor. They have migrated from Maharashtra to outside, and even some people or some staff migrated from these industrial cities to their respective native place or native districts. So the migration of labor is also issues, and because of that there are so many issues to uh, have a regular momentum in the industries. And as of now, as per our the data, it's almost about industries whatever I have mentioned, they have operated almost about 25 to 30% capacity with limited resources, as I mentioned. So this is about the current situation. And as far as the Pune is concerned, still the industries located in Pune Municipal Corporation limit, they were not allowed to operate, and the restrictions are again same. After this lockdown 4 also, there is no any clear cut guidelines from the state government, and because of that the industries located in Pune, we have basically knowledge based industries, service industries, IT and ITS units. Then another like we can have micro and small industries located in various industrial estates in Pune municipal corporations. They were not operated. Some of the like essential commodity industries are operated. Apart from that, Pune is again considered as a very big cluster for IT and ITS industries. Hinjawadi, Talavade, Kharadi, and then Magarpatta. Then we have some of the industries located on Nagar Road. So these are the basically major IT clusters, and uh, almost about more than 400 plus industries, IT industries are operated from Pune. And most of the IT industries, though they are operated from work from home, but micro and small unit in IT sectors, they were unable to operate from work from home because their offices, their systems, they are located in their respective location. We are trying to support basically these industries located in PMC, and I hope that soon we'll get some guidelines from the government so that we'll be able to restart some operations in Pune municipal corporations with some restrictions. So this is about the current situation in the lockdown in the Pune, and we can say that the periphery of Pune. Now, with this, before going to this basically various schemes, support system scheme, I would like to sum up the issues again that has to be continued for this SMEs basically. So we will know that there are issues about the liquidity, the finance issue is the major issues for this MSME. So we have working capital. So working capital problems are there. Then again, as far as the electricity concerned is there, most of the industries are demanding that the minimum charges in the electricity that has to be waived out. Then there are some basically initiatives by the government of India regarding the GST and basically some statutory clearances. But again, the industries are facing a lot of problem in working capital, and you are aware about that the government of India has announced basically a stimulation package, and in that package some of the initiatives has been taken to MSME. I will come to that basically package afterwards. But I feel that in this lockdown, after the lockdown, now the MSME sector or industry sector has to think about latest technology. Basically, what are the latest technology? Current technologies are there that has to be required for mass production. You can take the simple example of like mask manufacturing in Maharashtra. We are almost when we started the lockdown, we have identified almost about we can say that 7 to 8 different companies in MSME sector or large sectors. They were located in Maharashtra, but now we are finding that they don't have that much capacities. So for mass production, let us say that in China or in other countries, the masks are manufactured by 7 to 8 masks per second, and we have a very limited manual mask basically manufacturing capacity. So the latest technology for mass production, that is the one of the areas this lockdown has come up with that. And again, the production, that is again the cost effective production, that is also issues. That issue is again basically to compete this MSME sector. Then we can, this MSME can use the digital basically technology, digital MSME, and of course the cluster initiatives, that is the to make the more competitive of this particular industries. We have a cluster movement or the cluster initiatives for manufacturing in respective sectors. I will just go through the now with some of the like various initiatives taken by the state government. I will not that much touch to central government, but initially the government of India has Mr. Rajesh has mentioned that it's Invest India initiatives was there, then the Make in India initiative was there. So we have various initiatives taken by the central government, and with that we have various initiatives taken by the state government also. So we have Make in India, skill manpower, we have basically Digital India initiatives were there. So these initiatives were taken by the state government also, and in the last year the government of Maharashtra has decided that the Maharashtra will be $1 trillion economy, and the industries department and the related departments are working basically for this $1 trillion economy in 2025. As far as MSME are concerned, MSME scenarios are concerned in India, you are aware about that almost about 361 lakh MSMEs are established in India. Almost about 17 lakhs MSMEs are registered in Maharashtra, and almost about more than 30 lakh MSMEs are unregistered in the Maharashtra. And this particular sector is very vibrant sector, very dynamic sectors, and in the country they are providing job up to almost about 60 million people. Out of that, I have mentioned that almost 50 to 60 lakh MSMEs are registered, and all other MSMEs are unregistered. That is also basically it's unorganized sectors. Out of this MSME, 55% MSMEs are located in 6 states, namely Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. So these are the basically leading states in industrialization, and almost about 55 to 60% MSMEs are located in this particular state. So Maharashtra is basically leading state in industrialization, and about the total industrial investment in Maharashtra, that stands almost about 7 lakh crores, employing almost about nearly 30 lakh persons in this particular scenario. We have a mega project policy for promotion of large investment as well as the foreign direct investment. And industries in Maharashtra, they were contributing almost about more than 25% to the state GDP. And the Maharashtra is contributing almost about 18% of the national GDP, and again attract more than 50% of the foreign investment in Maharashtra. Again, the Maharashtra is a leading exporter, and almost about more than 25 to 26% share is from Maharashtra. Now, as far as the policy initiatives are there, now before lockdown, we have just come up with a new industrial policy. We call it as a new industrial policy 2019. And as I mentioned that the government is working through this new industrial policy to basically achieve the main target is that the $1 trillion economy. Apart from lockdown, I will just mention that the various initiatives taken by the state government afterwards. But the new industrial policy 2019, which was announced in April 2019, where the progressive policies that aim to improvement the business environment in Maharashtra, that is basically abatement of state taxes, then the exemption in stamp duty, electricity duty exemption, power incentives, plus like we have other benefits to make the MSME sector as well as unorganized sector, village industries to more competitive. With this, we have decided to have a skill development initiatives, single window clearances, investor facilitations, and investor aftercare sales. Particular policy, and as all of you know that most of the industrial policies that classifies the various industrial area in a different zones, and you are aware about that the zoning is considered as a taluka. We call it as a taluka consideration, and we have the industrial classifications like A zone, B zone, C zone, D zone, and D plus zone. So with these particular zones, now the incentives are planned in this new industrial policy to MSME in a very large way. From B, basically B classification, so B zone basically, so 30% incentives are basically announced in this particular policy with 7-year eligible period, and that will be increasing almost about 80% to the total investment in D plus zone. So 30%, 40%, 50%, 60 and 80%. So 80% of your total fixed capital investment will be returned almost to the 7 to 10 years in these particular incentives. in this particular basically a policy. As far as various incentives proposed and various incentives announced to MSME, this is what to strengthen the MSME and large scale sectors, we have some standalone incentives. So the one category of incentive is that depending on the investment in fixed capital investment, that is your fixed assets, land, building, and plant and machinery. Apart from that, as I mentioned, that these are the tax exemptions. So we have GST refund, stamp duty exemption, electricity duty exemptions, power tariff, interest subsidy. Apart from that, standalone exemptions, standalone incentives are admissible to MSME to promote quality competitiveness, research and development, technology upgradation, water and energy conservation, cleaner production measures, and credit rating to MSME. So the new MSME are eligible for capital subsidy of 5%, that is maximum 25 lakh in technology upgradation. So again, the 75% subsidies for acquiring the quality certifications, 25% subsidies for on capital acquiring the capital equipments for cleaner production measures. So these are the various initiatives taken by the government to make the MSME more competitive. Apart from this particular policy, the government has taken separate initiatives to promote the export and to basically have a more widened domestic market. So for domestic market, the government has decided that in public procurement policy, that basically it's a huge market, huge demand for the MSME as well as the Indian companies. So if you calculate the total procurement done by the various government departments, state government, various government undertaking, central government undertaking, and public sector undertaking companies. So almost about more than 30 lakhs crore rupees goods and services are procured from this particular in a year. So in a public procurement policy that has been revised in 2017 states that almost about 20% reservations to MSME. So out of 30 lakh crore, 20% reservation to MSME sector is a huge amount. And for that particular, the government of India has developed a digital platform that is called Government e-Marketplace. Our honorable MSME minister, Sri Nitin Gadkari ji, he is basically very keen on this digital platform that has to be available to MSME. It's similar to the Amazon or any another digital e-commerce platform. So each and every MSME can go on that particular platform and sell their products. So JAM is in that particular, the initiatives of the JAM is with that particular these things. So there is a reservations for MSMEs, the preferential reservations for MSMEs. So almost about in preferential 240 items were reserved from this particular MSME sector. And out of this again, these 100% items, there are again reservations for village industries, reservations for women entrepreneurs, reservations for SC and ST entrepreneurs. So this is the domestic basically market availability. As far as the global trade, the state government is very keen to increase the participation, increase the basically a quantum in a global trade. As on today, the quantum of whole India in the global trade is not more than 2%, not more than 2%. So we have a lot of markets now because of this lockdown and COVID situations. You know that most of the industries, they were shifted, and the global trade, again there will be a trade barriers to different countries, different like regions. So the India have a lot of opportunities for the exports, and as of that, the government of India as well as the state government is coming with a separate basically policies for export. And in export also we have so many basically initiatives. I will share that initiative separately because that is again a separate subject. Now, apart from this, the very important initiatives taken by the state government as well as the central government. Now, the government of India has yesterday only announced that they will be coming with a cluster approach to promote the industries in the different sectors. Now, the cluster approach is that it's a one type of industries in a similar sector will be promoted with a common facilities, common basically facilities required to them. Common facility centers, we can say that. We have in Pune, like the Pune is cluster for automobile. It's automobile hub. Similarly, we have so many like natural clusters like Ichalkaranji. Ichalkaranji is famous for textile cluster. Then the Solapur is again famous for textile cluster. Kolhapur is for foundry. So these are the natural clusters has to be promoted on a large scale, and to make them unit more competitive with the help of the common facility centers, with the help of export basically facilitation centers, technology facilitation centers. So whatever the supports required to promote the industries, the institutional supports that will be made available to these particular sectors. And with this, the state government is also very keen for cluster approach, development of industries in a cluster approach, because the standalone development of industries basically in a MSME sector is very impracticable. It's very difficult. So the cluster development is again we are doing that, and in these common facility centers we are promoting the testing facilities or the testing labs, design centers, common processing centers, common effluent treatment plant, training centers, R&D centers, raw material banks, sales depot, product display centers, information centers, or the whatever the like we can plan facilities depending on that particular requirement of industries. Earlier, the government is like promoting the infrastructure required to the industries through Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, as well as we have industrial estate schemes. So many, almost about 240 cooperative industrial estates were developed. Like in Pune, we have Electronic Cooperative Industrial Estate, Parvati Cooperative Industrial Estates. So that too, government was initially in the infrastructure development, but now the government has changed their views, and with this infrastructure development, government is coming with common facilities required to industries. So the industries will be make sure to have a more basically competitiveness in their production facilities, and other supports role will be available in common facility centers. So the cluster approach is again very important approach. Then the government of Maharashtra has taken initiatives to promote the micro industries. Now, in a recent basically announcement by the Honorable Finance Minister, the definition of MSME sector has been totally changed. So there are so many challenges in a micro sector specifically. Of course, the small and medium, they were some structured industries, but the micro were very unorganized sectors, and it will be started by startups, new entrepreneurs, or women entrepreneurs, village entrepreneurs. So there were so many challenges. So government is keen to make available basically the finance working capital to these particular micro sectors through capital subsidy as well as interest subventions. Apart from that, the government of Maharashtra now we have so many sectorial policies are placed. We have IT and ITS policies separately to promote the IT industries. We have a retail policies to promote the retail industries. We have a electronic policy. We have special policies like women entrepreneurship policies. Then we have aerospace and defense policies. We have EV and electric vehicle, battery and its component policies. We have integrated logistic park and logistic park policies to promote the logistic park. So and gems and jewelry, of course, the ready-made garment and gems and jewelry. So these are the basically various sectoral initiatives taken by the government. Now the government of Maharashtra and basically the industries department, they were thinking and they were working on to upgrade these particular sectoral policies in this lockdown situations. So the government is working with the industries 4O background, and now what are the opportunities available under the Industry 4.0, as well as what are the various opportunities available after this particular lockdown. Our Honorable Industry Minister has already announced that almost about yesterday, the Honorable CM has also announced that almost 40,000 hectare land will be made available to the industries. That land has been reserved for new industries or the new projects in Maharashtra. So the government is keen to make them available, the infrastructure as well as the basically common facilities and support systems required for the industries, and again the financial incentive supports for these particular industries. Yet the government has not decided come up with the separate policies after the lockdown, but the Maharashtra government has already they have formed one task force headed by the Mr. Bhushan Gagrani. He is additional chief secretary, and he will basically he and his team will be talking to the different like countries, different groups, basically from the Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, or basically the more like a large group, they were operated in China. So that company want to come up to the India. So the basically a state government is also planning to welcome these particular industries in the state of Maharashtra. So apart from this industrial policies, now the state government is working on policies, that is a stimulation policy. I will just highlight that. And the stimulation policy is not yet announced, but we are working on stimulation policies for large scale industries as well as the small scale industries. And we were working on basically the interest subventions for your term loan as well as the cash credit facilities, working capital facilities, or overdraft facilities. So the government is working on that almost about 4 months to 3 months interest subventions in this lockdown period. So that was a one initiatives. Another is that the government is working with some stimulation package to MSME, not for large industries, to MSME about the monthly wages of their laborers during the March, April, and May, or the lockdown period. They maybe come up with some period, and they will be giving some capital support, capital incentives to this MSME to cope up the wages given by the MSMEs. Apart from that, the government is working on basically the minimum charges from the MSEDCL, then tariff rate interventions, tariff rate subsidies by 1 rupees or 1.5 rupees or similar, that one depending on the they will decide. And again the moratorium period for payment of electricity bill to MSME sectors. The government is also working on minimum charges required for water charges and basically local taxes and the exemptions of water charges as well as local charges. So these are the some of the points that has to be considered for a stimulation package to MSME. Of course, the ESI and EPF, these are the subjects of the government of India, but the government of Maharashtra is in positions to recommend or to have some supports for EPF as well as ESIC. Similar to that, some incentives were again planned for large industries, because my focus is majorly for MSME. Similar to that, the large industries were also planned to support on this particular stimulus package. So this stimulation package will be apart from the whatever the stimulation package announced by the government of India. Now I will just highlight to this government of India stimulation package, because that's some of the points that will be related to industries. There were 6 major steps or 6 major initiatives announced by the Honorable Finance Minister, Government of India. That is, one is a collateral free automatic loan to MSME, and that too again no guarantees required for the period of 4 years with no principal repayment for 1 year. My dear friends, I have to again go through the actual detail notifications. I have not come across to these detailed notifications, but let the new notifications will be coming for this particular automatic loan. We'll basically then have a more clear discussions on this particular part. Hello.
Yes, yes, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, it's audible, na? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Apart from that, there is another issue is about the like SEEK unit in MSME sector. So we call it as a stress MSMEs. So for stress MSMEs, the government of India has announced almost about 20,000 crore rupees debt to support to this stress MSME. So that is also very good initiatives by the government of India. Now again there is some equity infusion almost about 50,000 crore rupees, and basically for initiatives in government tenders, like global tenders will be disallowed up to 200 crore rupees, and e-market linkages for MSMEs that is also available. And another important initiative is that within 45 days, all the government department, government corporations, they will clear their payments. As I mentioned that the government is a huge buyer, and they are buying the so many items and so many goods from the MSME sectors. So that particular money also come to the MSME or industry sectors. And apart from that, the government of India has announced that the basically the definition of MSME has been changed, and the investment limit for micro has been increased to 1 crore rupees, and our turnover is up to 5 crore rupees. For small scale, again, the investment is increased from 5 crore to, initially it was 5 crore to 10 crore rupees, and turnover is up to 50 crore rupees. And for medium, the investment limit has increased to 20 crore rupees, and the turnover is up to 100 crore rupees. Basically, this is a welcome move by most of the MSME association as well as MSME. So the change of definition or the limits in investment limit was the demand from a long side. I think that is also a very uh, excellent initiatives taken by the government. That's why the most of the companies will come in MSME sectors, and they will be eligible to get this particular incentive supports. Now, lastly, I will take another 2-3 minutes. Apart from that, now, as I mentioned that, what are the opportunities after this lockdown or during after this lockdown? So, as I mentioned that the different sectors, like so many corrections in the industries, and many sectors will we can say that come up in some opportunities in MSME sector as well as the large sectors. I feel that the pharma, food processing industries, even the ready-made garment, that is a textile, apparel industries, they will be the like amazing opportunities in these particular sectors. So even the opportunities will be on e-commerce, basically e-commerce platform, courier business, logistic business will be having some different like opportunities in these particular sectors. So I feel that the e-commerce sector, then the delivery, something like we can say that logistic deliveries or the delivery mechanisms, video conferencing, online learning, health monitoring systems, then the contactless, basically digital pay systems, 3D printing technology systems, voice mobile applications, and healthcare basically products. Exports, again, export to the US, China, or we can say that online, basically these things, smart robotics, online even grocery also. Three activities were increased. So these are the some of the like go and study the different what are the opportunities available in the market, and they can plan accordingly. So this
Hello.
Government as well as the current opportunities, I will just conclude my talk over here, and I will hand over to for any question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Surose. I think you very nicely covered current scenario, industry policy, as well as I think opportunities that will come to companies like us in due course. Now, thank you very much. Now, I think we those who have some questions, they can write the questions in the chat box. Um, while we wait for those questions, we have collected some questions already from the members, and I think Prajakta and I will try to ask these questions to Mr. Surose, and if you are able to
I think
enlighten us
your
on that.
voice is breaking. We are not getting clear. Rajesh ji?
Okay, is it clear
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's clear,
yeah.
Rajesh.
Okay, sorry about that. I think what I was saying is thank you very much, Mr. Surose, for excellent overview of current scenarios and opportunities and challenges that industries can face, as well as covering some of the stimulus package that government has announced. So thank you very much. I would now request Prajakta to start asking questions.
Yes, thanks, Rajesh, and thanks, Mr. Survase. That was informative address by you. The first question we have is more of a policy question. Now, in India, there's been an extended lockdown of almost 60 days now, and there is a lot of discussion going on about China plus one strategy, which means global manufacturing companies are looking at one more manufacturing location outside China as part of their risk mitigation plan. So, what
Yeah.
is the Maharashtra government or specifically Pune administration's policy or actions to attract this new investment in Pune or in Maharashtra for global companies?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I think I have just touched these particular issues in my brief discussion. I have mentioned that the Maharashtra government has already formulated a task force uh, that is headed by the Bhushan Gagrani. He is additional chief
Mhm.
secretary, and he was previously the industry secretary of government of Maharashtra. And this particular group is talking to all different consulate general of various countries,
Mhm.
specifically the South Korea, the companies look, sorry, the Taiwan, Japan, then the European countries, and they were talking to the different consulate general, and uh, I can't basically here give all the details because uh,
Mhm.
it's a foreign investment, and the larger investment has to be handled at my secretariat level. But yesterday only the Honorable Chief Minister has announced that the 40,000 hectare land is available, and ample of land is available nearby Pune too. I can mention that.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank
Rajesh, do
you.
you want me to take the second question? And
I, okay, I'll ask the second question.
okay.
Okay, I think as we all know, I think the lockdown in India is more severe than most of the other countries, uh, lengthwise as well restriction wise. And when it comes to ITS companies, you mentioned, sir, that I think big companies are able to work from home, but
Yeah.
some smaller companies are not able to work from home completely. So I think with extended lockdown, our customers are really a big concern, and they are really apprehensive. And like
Yeah.
Prajakta mentioned earlier, that in manufacturing, people are looking for China plus one strategy. So I think it may trigger that multinational companies is for services or technology, they may think of India plus one strategy. So how do we really uh, overcome this concern?
Uh, Rajesh, it is true that the lockdown implementations were some of, we can say that some stringent, and because of some restrictions, uh, basically the micro or the MSME sector in IT, basically IT industries, that too again located in Mumbai and Pune.
Right.
they were affected. And basically, we were trying to government, and we are giving the ground reports to the government. But of course, in these particular situations, again, the priority of the totality of the government again to just to protect the COVID-19. So I think there were issues, and government is very keen. Industry department is very keen to restart the operations, but till like we were not able to restart the operations in Pune as well as in Mumbai because of the situations. You all are aware about that.
Right.
Yeah, but apart from that, the government is thinking to have some different policies, separate policies. Of course, we have a separate policies, but how this unit can be like
Hello. Hello. We are not able to hear you, sir.
after 2000 to 2003 onwards, we can say that the Pune IT industry has flourished because of basically the knowledge-based manpower is available here, infrastructure, the connectivity. So there are so many issues, and the government want to take the advantages of that particular issues, and again to support this particular, we can say that a new sectorial industries, which is very much helpful for promoting the more jobs in this particular sector. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. I think it would be our request to see what I know you have been supporting us, and we are supporting communicating ground level report. So we again request you, sir, if at least partial, if we are allowed to start with partial employees, that would be really great.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Actually, we were working on that, and some relaxation is expected, at least in a non-containment zone in Pune Municipal Corporation.
Okay, we will be waiting for that, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Prajakta, do you want to take next question?
Yes, Rajesh. So, sir, you did touch upon long-term initiatives for MSME, for example, cluster formation and skill development that the government is going to look into, and these will be very beneficial long-term initiatives.
Yeah.
Any idea? The question more is around what next for the MSME financial package, because that is the current issue, be it liquidity or cash flow issues that companies are facing. So, would we get would there be a package coming up or some more details in that regard, specifically for MSME?
Yeah. Actually the announcement has already taken place, and the detailed guidelines will come up soon. And apart from the state government, as I mentioned, that the state government is also announced the stimulation package compared to government of India. But some
Hello, you are cutting, sir, in
Yes.
between.
So, yeah.
Your voice is not audible.
Mr. Survasi, can you hear us? Rajesh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think his some.
yeah. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
I think there was some problem. I think.
Yes, we couldn't hear the last two sentences, sir. If you could just repeat that.
No. I have mentioned that the government of Maharashtra, they were also planning to come up with stimulation package. But at this point of movement, I will not able to detail out that particular things. That's my point.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And my last question before I hand it over to Rajesh is, again, in MSME, unfortunately, many employees and workers are losing their jobs and livelihoods. Are there any redeployment schemes by the Maharashtra government for such employees?
Yes, ma'am. If you see the news 2-3 days back, the industry department is working basically for the availability of the skilled manpower immediately to this particular sector, right? MSME
Okay.
sector. So the government is in process to set up a Kamgar Bureau. It is called Kamgar Bureau, and they were in the planning with the help of labor department skill development department, identify the local industries, their requirement, their skill requirement, and basically the local available unemployed people. So basically the unemployment youth will be trained accordingly as per the requirement of industries. That was the concept of Kamgar Bureau. So they were working and they will coming up with a separate scheme of this Kamgar Bureau.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I'll just go through some of the questions that are being asked by the participants. I think, sir, you mentioned various policies where the participants can get information about these policies that some of these you mentioned.
Yeah, actually, these policies are available on the industry department website. That is the di.maharashtra.gov.in. And apart from that, in the last 2-3 years, we have taken initiatives and we have a separate office which will digitally facilitate as well as physically facilitate to investors. Might be a small investor, medium investor, and that is called a Maitri. We have a physical setup of Maitri, and in Maitri also we have a toll-free numbers, then on email also, and all the information is available on the Maitri site. If you just Google it out Maitri, you will get all that particular site, link of that particular site. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, then I think it is also mentioned that yesterday CM also Honorable CM also mentioned that there will be free access to pollution-free industries. So
yeah.
Do you have any what kind of opportunities or what kind of industries will come under that, sir?
So it's all industry 4.0 industries are there, knowledge-based industries.
Okay.
So as I mentioned that the government is working on that, and now we will thinking to have a separate policies for industry 4.0.
Okay, separate policy for industry 4.0. Okay.
Industry. Yeah.
Okay. And then now the academia industry is also suffering. So will there be any schemes for academic industries, you think, sir?
No, I don't have right now up-to-date informations, because this is basically handled by the technical education and vocational education department.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Then I think I know we have just crossed 5, but I think there are a couple of questions, sir, if you have times.
Yeah, no problem. You can have another 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. What are the opportunities in the field of energy, oil and gas industry?
No, I don't have right now up-to-date information about that particular, specifically for that particular sectors.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be having that type of then we have a separate our team. They were working in a different sectors. I can come up with that. We have a separate basically opportunities in a different sectors. So we'll have some interesting discussions on that. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Subsequently, you can organize that. Now, as sir you mentioned, in MIDCs are great areas for companies to set up. However, a lot of this land which was allocated is still vacant, and I think one of the participants is saying that is being sold at higher rates. This makes setting up very expensive of a new unit. So is government looking into this?
Actually, as I mentioned that this new industrial policy 2019, we have come up with that because in most of the industrialized cities, it's very difficult to get the land. So we have come up with the policies the industries can come up with they have a land, or any private investors, then they can come up with minimum 25 hectare land. Okay. And they come up with us we'll approve that particular land as a industrial estates as per the planning norms of the MIDC. And for again development of that particular industrial estates, the government will provide some capital subsidies for infrastructure supports. So earlier we used to develop the industrial estates, you know that. So it's old estates. We have a Hadapsar industrial estates. Ram
Correct,
Tekde,
correct.
then electronic estates, Parvati Industries. These are the like almost about 240 this type of estates were developed on a cooperative basis. Now here in a new current scenario, the government intends to develop the private itself with the help of private participations. So you can come up, you can develop your estates, will have some modular development, and the government will give the support to them. This will make available the large number of industrial infrastructures to the urban areas.
Okay.
And apart from that, your earlier questions that most of the plots in MIDCs are vacant. Now the MIDC has come up with separate policies that they have reduced their time for a development of that particular time, because of course the 3 year was time. Within a 3 years, the one who has to start the industries and complete the building completion activities. So now that time has been reduced also, and for we can say that they are coming with some simplified regulations for that.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you also, sir, mentioned that there are quite a few sick or stress units. Now they also are looking for some opportunities. So is it possible for government to consolidate opportunities, these new opportunities in different sectors, so that companies who are stressed or they are stagnant, they can rethink about their strategy? So I think it would be nice to hear about that. So that
that's a very important point. And apart from the your point, previously we were thinking like in the government, they were thinking that if it is a stress unit or sick unit, then the whole basically the investment or capital investment in that particular location gets totally blocked. So there is no any employment, economic activity, there is no any value addition. So government is thinking to have some again some separate policies for this particular stress unit to come up with that. Otherwise आप देखते हैं कि it's all 30 years the industries is closed down, it's a sit down, and again that things are going on there. So we were thinking to have a separate policies to like utilize that particular assets for industrial purpose, for industrial activities. So we will definitely will come, and if you have any suggestions for that, definitely that suggestions are welcome. You can suggest how we can proceed further in that.
Okay, but sir, is there any timeline for this new policy or new opportunities to be shared?
Sir, it will come. I think another month time, everything will be like.
Okay, good. One time is, I think, good. So I think, and we will, I think, whatever we can contribute, sir, to your efforts, we'll definitely be able to provide input based on the industry.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think so. That covers all my questions except one. I think now somebody asked Pune Cantonment Board when the units will be allowed to start operation in Pune Cantonment Board.
Sir, yeah.
This will be similar to PMC.
No. Pune Cantonment Board, we have seen Pune nearby. We have 3 cantonment board, Pune, Khadki, and Devarud Cantonment Board, and they have their administration separately. But they are the part of basically civic administration. Because most of the they are adjacent to Pune. Even if you see the Pune Municipal Corporation, so the Pune Cantonment goes beyond beyond the Pune Cantonment boards. There is a Pune Municipal Corporation limits are there. So there is no any such like a separate these things. So it is treated at par with PMC. And we were planning, we were expecting some relaxations for PMC, at least for ITS industries or some critical operations with 10%, 20%, 30% staff. So that is expected. But I would like to mention here that apart from that, suppose we have some government has given any essential activities are there, any essential jobs are there, that has to be supported to some critical operations, or some export orders are there. So that industries can be permitted on some minimal staff basis with a selective. It's a selective basically. We can permit them to operate in a non-containment zone. Containment zone again, I have some limitations. So in a non-containment zone, we are giving permissions to not all industries on a selective basis. Suppose somebody has somebody has to complete some export order within a stipulated time. Otherwise,
Okay.
heavy losses are there, or they were supporting to some critical, or some design is very critical. So that time, in that particular cases, if you have any like issues of that one, you come to me. I will definitely support to them with a minimal support, minimal staff support, operation permissions.
Okay, thank you, sir. Last question now. This is from our SEEP friends. Pune is the second largest IT hub after Bangalore. So we would request more interactions with PS, industries, DCs, DOL, so that we can discuss various aspects of IT business and ideally make Pune as a IT capital of Maharashtra, so we can help in Maharashtra economy as well. So how can we get help on that, sir?
So we'll coordinate. I will coordinate with like STPI authorities, even the SEEPs, even some of the officials from the central government, and we can coordinate definitely, no problem.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, sir. Thank you. I think now we have run out of the time, so I think I would now thank you very much, sir, for your replies to most of your questions. So I think I'll request now Prajakta to say a vote of thanks, please.
Yes, Rajesh. So this
Jugal,
has
can you
indeed.
take it to the last page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this has indeed been an informative as well as interactive session, and I'm sure it has been beneficial to all the participants. This is a 1 hour webinar, but it takes a lot of effort and coordination from people. So quite a few people to thank. I'll just take a couple of minutes. First and foremost, thank you to Mr. Sadashiv Survase for taking time out of his busy schedule and for your valuable inputs. We are thankful to our supporting partners, SEEP and NextDim SKP, without whom we couldn't have organized this session. In SKP, thanks Rishu and Jugal for coordinating this webinar. We appreciate Brenda Van Horn, who's the principal commercial officer from US Department of Commerce. She's taken the time out to join this session. So thanks, Brenda. Thank you to Naushad Panjwani. He is the Western Region Chairman for ICC. Thank you for your support and ideas for Pune. Branch Committee Member Raghvendra Pongche for coordinating this talk with Mr. Survase. Ashutosh Parasnis for his suggestions and inputs on how to structure this entire session. And under Rajesh's leadership, all the BC branch committee members, the ICC Secretariat and the KIDA team for their active involvement. Most of all, thanks to all the people who have participated today. We hope this session was useful for you. With that, we close today's webinar and have a great evening ahead. Thanks.
And just last, I thank you, all of you, all these IACC members, and specifically Rajesh Wazarkar and Raghvendra Pongche, who has connected me and given us opportunity to share my views. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.